Happy Monday. It's Moog One Monday. How you doing? It's Marshall. Thanks for tuning into the show. I'm trying not to yell because I have this lavalier mic and it's like right next to my face. Anyway, yeah. Happy Monday, everyone. Yeah, it's a holiday week this week, so happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the USA. Yeah, so today we're going to just play around with the Moog One. I have done some new patches, and I'll play some of these a little bit. And then we'll probably just kind of tool around a little bit and see what we can get sound-wise out of this guy. And it should be a lot of fun. I have set up a couple of... I set up a different shot over here, but I get too much green spill on this thing. I need to get probably another light in here, so I'm not going to be able to key out that background. And actually, this camera might freak out, so I'm probably going to avoid using this shot for right now. This Black Friday, I might try and snag a newer camera. But anyway... that is beside the point. Here we have the patch called Fake ARP, and this is literally a fake kind of arpeggiator. It sounds like an arpeggiator when I play it, but basically what I'm doing is using actually let me bring it up. How about I do that? Go into the mod matrix. I am using the LFO4 and the modulation envelope gate to control the state variable filter and the ladder filter, and you get this really cool effect doing that. And then on top of that, if we drill down into oscillator 4, I've got sync turned on, and I'm using eighth note divisions with unipolar mode. And there was something else I was doing in here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there's the delay or the fade out of the. Where is that in here? Yeah, fade out time is quarter note. So basically, what's happening is when I press a key, you'll get the action from the modulation, and it fades out over time. Which is cool, because then you get these really cool, like, stuttering type of effects. And let me demonstrate this for you here. And we'll see how this sounds. So you see as I hold this. And then I do have, like, some, I believe it's the automatic modulation that's programmed on the front panel for LFO2 for the filters, just to give it a little bit more motion. And then if you hold a little bit longer, you'll hear that modulation stop. And then I've got the mod wheel routed because the filters are all low pass. So, and I thought that was pretty cool because we're not using the arpeggiator here. And it's a lot of fun to play this patch. And I'm just alternating the notes here. And I love it. I think that's really cool. But then the nice thing is using this the modulation envelope. If we tweak this, like, watch what happens if we start. Let me drill down into here. If we start adjusting these. And I do have this set to looping. And start getting into some cool kind of effects territory. And turn the release up. And then if we add the release on the, there goes my phone, on the amp, get that kind of coolness. And it sounds like shit doing that, but you get this kind of one shot on the LFO, and then if we crank up the LFO rate, it's really cool. I love that kind of stuff. And then in the effects on this one, I'm using the Eventide. I can't remember which one this is. It's probably the Hall. And then over here we're using the tape delay. And the cool thing about the tape delay is you can control wow and flutter on this, which if you know about old school tape decks, like there's the wow and flutter, which is basically the speed in which, sorry guys, I really need to remember to turn my freaking phone off on these live streams. But you can control the wow and flutter on the tape delay, which is really cool. And it gives it like, actually we can exaggerate it and demonstrate that here. But let me silence my phone real quick. Okay, sorry about that. Let's turn the reverb off for a second. But then if we come down here, we've got wow and flutters over here. So right now that was kind of turned up a lot on the flutter, but when we adjust the wow, might be able to hear if we add a little. It's a cool effect. A lot of fun to just play around with this kind of stuff. That's kind of cool. It's almost like reminds me of vintage like video game sounds. Like you just beat the bad guy and it's like cue the victory music. And right now I'm just adjusting LFO4's rate again. And then we're back to close to where we were. So anyway, so diving into the mod matrix has been a lot of fun. I realized that I was kind of doing the wrong thing in some of my other videos. I was actually assigning the source to the mod wheel, and actually that's probably wrong. I mean, you can technically do that, but what I found is probably the correct way is there's actually a controller option on here, and that's where I've been assigning my mod wheel functionality and the XY pad functionality. And currently I'm doing that mostly because full MIDI implementation is not available yet on this synthesizer. So to get automation in my DAW, I'm routing stuff to the mod wheel or the XY pad, so I can automate those in my tracks, basically over MIDI, which is nice. So, but once full MIDI is kind of up and going on this guy, then it's going to be even more fun to modulate within the DAW, because essentially all these different parameters you could set up separately, separate modulation tracks in the DAW, little envelopes and stuff, and control those as you see fit, which is a lot of fun. But for right now, we're not at 100% for functionality on this synthesizer yet. There's still a long way to go, and it's going to be a lot of fun as Moog starts to bring these features out into the forefront. Yeah, just a lot of fun. So let's see, what else can we do? Let me show you actually another preset that I made. Oops. Let's go here. Browse presets. I don't know what happened to my presets. Where's all my presets at, man? Cancel. I'm probably in some kind of mode that I don't want to be in right now. There we go. Oh, nope, that's global. Utilities. Browse presets. I'm not sure why this is not showing my shit right now. So what we might need to do is shut it off and turn it back on, because I don't know what I did. But we should have a full list of presets showing up. Oh, and you can hear the fan. So this is actually running the latest firmware, the 1.0.2 right now, which, I mean, the improvements that they've made for my purposes, I think the big one was the actual fan noise as it's running. It's actually kind of, the noise floor in my studio is not very good at the moment. So it's not a huge deal for me the way it was, but apparently it's better. The other thing they did is they did adjust the noise floor on the synth a little bit, and they're dynamically managing how much amplitude is coming through when the voices are off, I guess, is the best way I can explain it. So there we go. The startup sequence there takes a little bit. And that's cool. Let's see if my presets are showing up now. There they are. Ooh, yay. So I must have been in some kind of weird mode, and I don't know what I did. Yeah, here's the space bass. This was basically a derivative of the fake ARP pad, the patch that I was just playing you, but it's more bass oriented. Right? And you can play it up on the... But it's very similar. But I don't have any of the mod wheel modulation mapped, and I think the waveforms are slightly different. Yeah, and then there's one that I actually started putting, I threw this into a track. It's this one here. It's called M-Trans Lead Stutter Blue Arp Test, and maybe I'll load up the project file here, what I was working on. If you missed the Saturday streams, I stream on Saturdays at 5 p.m. Mountain. And I usually work on music, basically. So it's a live studio session of me working on something live. And I did toss this one in. This is an original patch. And it's basically a lead. And it doesn't sound super awesome. But I do have filter modulated here, but I'm using actually external effects in my DAW for this song sound. But it's really kind of a nice buzzy lead. So, real quick, since I've poked my head over to the chat here, just want to say hi to DJ PhD. I like that name. That's cool. And then Bobby Kipler's in the house. How you guys doing? Thanks for tuning in. So, and I really like the state variable filter, and I really like running that in series with the ladder filter. I'm not sure if I'm doing that in this patch or not. Let's look, actually. I might be. Yes, I am. Actually, these might be in parallel. Back into there. Sounds very almost like mini Moogish. But like with like an edge. I don't know how to explain that, but it's really cool. That's almost like a cool bass as well. There's just so much range that you can do with these sounds, even though if you say, oh, this is a bass sound, like sometimes it sounds really great as a lead or, you know, in the higher octaves, and it can be used for a lot of things. So let's just do an init. And let's try and design in something. The one thing that sucks is after the 1.0.1 update, something went haywire with the unison, which is actually a big bummer for me because I'm a big fan of super saws and big trance leads and stuff. And I had made some trance leads, and actually maybe we can show that here in a little bit. But the unison is really, really touchy now, and it seems to not sound as good as it did initially. And I think that's an issue, and myself and one of the other Moog One owners let Moog know about it, so hopefully they'll be able to reproduce that and correct it, hopefully soon. So anyway, so we start off with just a basic sawtooth. Let's switch all three voices on in the state variable filter. Add a little bit of resonance in here. Okay, listen to how good that sounds. And the nice thing about the state variable filter is we have a couple different modes. We have a notch. Right, high pass. That might be a band pass actually. This is high pass. Love it. Anyway, let's start shaping a sound. So normally I'll come and so you have fine adjustment for the beat frequency, which I'll kind of play with that a little bit. Must have hit something, but the nice thing is if you get lost, you can come into the main screen here and get your numbers dialed back in. Let's see, did I adjust the frequency on one of these? And we'll start doing some wave shaping here. It's really nice because you can go from a sawtooth to a ramp and then add in almost like the square, and you can kind of go in between and make these real weird looking, like teeth looking things, and they sound pretty cool. And then I like using the FM a lot. So there's a dedicated FM routing in here. And it's about finding the right amount . Sounds awesome. And then you start sweeping your filters around and everything's perfect in the world. Anyway, yeah, so let's see what else we can do. So again, you have some dedicated modulation sources already mapped on the panel. Playing around. So the filter envelope is really nice as well. Let's get some of that going here. This is the amount knob. This is the mix between ladder and state variable filter. Let's turn them both on. I'm gonna just hit latch, play around here. I'm just trying to balance this so I don't blow anyone's ears out here. And we could map our state variable to, say, alpha 2. And I wish this would have sync turned on by default, but it does not. And we should be able to adjust our phase start time. That's starting to sound cool. And we don't even have any effects on yet. Let's add some effects. So we'll start with effect slot 1, and we can pick lots of different things. So let's try and see what we get. Let's do let's throw a flanger on here. You can hear it a little bit, but we don't have a super long sustain on here. That's pretty cool. Sorry. Maybe we don't want that flanger in here. Actually, let's try the... let's try... Bit Crush. Whoa, pops. I think sometimes it takes a couple of seconds for the changes in some of the parameters to take effect. So I think what we heard there was the system trying to catch up to my change as I was playing notes. See how that kind of cleans up? Actually, what it's doing is it's catching up to the knob positions where I'm set on the panel, because it was kind of sounding like that initially, but whoa, we almost got some dubstep action going on here. Oh, that's pretty cool. Alright, I like that. Let's do FX slot 2, and this is where we can either do eventides or we can put any of the other things on. So like, let's say if we wanted to use a reverb in the DAW, but we wanted to maybe use that bit crusher and then a delay, we could do that here. Throw in a ping pong. What's down here? Offset. That sounds fucking cool. Something's And then, you know, the thing is that if we didn't want some of this to come back, we could go back into our LFO and turn that decay time on, which is Actually, it'd be the fade out time, just here. So we could make it like, see what happens. Even set a number of repeats actually. So let's leave our fade out time and then just have it do 1. We got a little too much reverb going on there. Or delay. That sounds good. If we turn ourselves down, and then if we did, actually, let's go into our mod matrix. I'm going to delete that pitch adjustment. That's the default. So we'll toss that out. Let's put in our filter controls through the mod wheel. So we'll just put that mod wheel, and then we'll go into filter, cut off. And then we should be able to do that there. And then we'll put in the mod wheel and put it in for the ladder. Ladder cut off right there. Sounds awesome. Love it. Anyway, let me save that since I'm digging that. And the cool thing is, if you've missed any of the other Moog One Mondays, you can actually hook a keyboard, a QWERTY keyboard, up to the Moog One USB slot. And in this case, I've just got a wireless keyboard on here, so we'll rename this patch. And I start all my patches with M-. So we'll call it, what should we call this? Who's in the chat room? We got some people in the chat room. Sorry guys, I've been so entrenched in sound design, I haven't been keeping an eye on you guys. Sorry about that. Hey Baker, thanks man. Did you ever fix that crappy MIDI interface? Are you talking about the Motu MIDI Express 128? If you're talking about that, like, it seems to be working okay right now, but yeah. We got Fade 2241 in there. Anyway, yeah, any recommendations on what I should call this? Feels like kind of like a cool, oops, and I'm typing letters in there using that. We'll call it like, what do we call it? M-Monday Bass, I guess. I don't know. If you guys have any other recommendations, let me know. So, and we can name the parts. This is just a one timbre patch. I haven't gotten into doing the multi-timbral stuff yet. I will. And in fact, actually on the track that I've been working on with the Moog One, that'll probably be the way I utilize the multi-timbrality, because I'll have one sound playing. And I just need to route some additional cables into my patch bay, because I'm going to keep those timbres separate so I can mix them appropriately in the track. Anyway, so I don't usually name individual synths, especially since there's just one in here. So we'll just leave that like that, and we'll save that guy. Actually, cancel. Oh shit! No, I don't want to save a new timbre. I want to go here. Come on, what's going on? Go up. Well, there we go. Save new preset. Okay, we got M Monday Bass. And I could imagine getting a TB303 over this, and some nice 808 kicks, and we've got some kind of techno bass lines from that sound. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah. All right, folks, I think I'm going to call it a night. This was a lot of fun to jam out on the Moog One. I'll be back next Monday with another Moog One session. We'll see what we come up with. Check out my Saturday stream. I guess I'm not going to have time to show you the track, but if you watch last week's Saturday stream, you'll see kind of what I'm working on there, using the Moog One along with an Access Virus TI2, a Mini Moog, Slim Fatty, and some other stuff. So I want to say thank you to everyone in the chat room. Thank you all for stopping by. This was a lot of fun. And hopefully there was no glitches this time. These Moog One streams have been a little problematic for me getting going, but I'm hoping this one sounds okay, looked okay. And yeah. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the United States. Have a safe holiday. And I'll see you guys on Saturday at 5 o'clock Mountain Time. Bye.